Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of I Can't Remember Shit, a memory podcast. I'm your host, Evan Barton, and today, me and a lovely guest are attempting a thoughtful descent, a peaceful reminisce, and an honest recollection of our own memories. Every episode, my guest and I discuss one aspect of memory in particular that they don't know about until I tell them right here, right now on this episode. Some of our favorite memories and our least favorite memories can evade us in the moment and might make us say, I can't remember shit. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of I Can't Remember Shit. I'm super excited today to welcome my lovely guest, Kevin Gibbs. Hey,
Hello.
Kevin.
How's it going?
Kevin and Evan on the pod.
Kevin and Evan. Kevin.
Yes, there we go. Yeah, I'm super excited for this episode today. I think we are both really thoughtful people that kind of, we've had multiple deep conversations about things.
Yeah.
But we've also had really silly conversations
Yes.
about
Mostly about men.
about sexuality, the male gaze.
The male gaze. Mine is very masculine.
Yes, and mine is I think also pretty. We have very similar tastes.
We do.
We've compared notes.
I agree. Yeah. Our Instagram DMs they should not be seen by anybody else.
And I'm glad they're not.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to have you on. This is a fun little friendship exercise. Is how long can we riff on camera for 45 minutes?
I'm here for it. Let's do it.
Well, and I know you're a podcast fan, or at least you listen to streamers who kind of create content in this way.
Yeah, I used to listen to tons of podcasts. When I lived in DC, I had 10 on rotation. I'm down to 3. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's in your rotation now? Just curious.
Ooh, rotation right now is The Read. That's the main one.
Mm-hmm.
I never miss an episode weekly. Code Switch.
Okay.
To get some culture, to get some learnings in. And this one called Search Engine, which is kind of like an investigative podcast, but it's fun stuff. Why the last episode I listened to was why grocery store freezers are open like that.
Why? I don't know.
Literally for convenience, and so people can touch the items and figure out what they want. And I guess the cost benefit of the waste and energy is worth it.
It's worth it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because people will buy.
Yeah, they'll actually pick up this shit and put it in their cart. So, can I curse in this podcast?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I curse a lot. Yeah.
That's so interesting. I think that just the nature of some of the podcasts you listen to are a little bit more informative and kind of have an educational angle or humor and education to it.
Yeah.
That's so my entry into podcasting was that I want to learn something. I need to, or not need to, but I'm enjoying learning something from these people that are in my ears, at least.
No, 100%. Yeah, no, it was 100%. Podcasts were my political awakening and ideological awakening, because before I was just a little ignorant boy from Houston, Texas, and moved to DC, had a lot of extra time on my hands, started downloading podcasts, and I learned a lot.
Yeah. That's interesting. I feel like these days I am a talking head for the talking heads in my ears.
I hear you. Yeah.
I am. My politics are whatever Willem and Alaska say on Hot Goss that week.
There you go.
Or whatever Macy and Theta say on on Club Ellen.
Right? You almost said InfoWars. So I was like,
Nymphowars.
Okay, I was about to get up and walk out.
No, there's no way. What if this is where I told you I was conservative?
Right? It was like, oh.
All the stars have aligned until now.
It's okay, pro-Tulsa conservative, but no.
That would maybe fit the bill. No,
No. Tulsa's very blue.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we're working on our purple, our lavender. We're getting there. I'm trying to bring the purple back to Tulsa.
It'll come back. I mean, Monroe's in there. Surprise win, or what I think people thought was going to be a surprise. Historic win. But people were they thought, what's her name?
Karen Keith.
Karen Keith. I always want to say Kay Bailey Hutchison whenever it's an older white lady running for politics. Because she was Kay Bailey is Texas royalty.
Kay Bailey. I kind of do a two name.
You know what I mean? Especially when it rolls off the tongue. You're not struggling to say Kay Bailey Hutchinson.
My friend Nick loves Corinne Bailey Ray, who's there's one song by her that everyone knows, but now it's escaping me, because
I don't remember it either.
Because I'm such a
But I can hear it.
like she's in it. But I love a 3-name type of person. Almost like Mary Kate and Ashley.
I mean, they for a long time they were the same.
Well, I mean, they were 2 people into one, and now they've kind of like morphed into like these twitches,
literal twitches. Like, what are they taking?
It's working.
Is it all natural? Can I get the secret?
Yeah,
like,
I need to be a part of their ritual.
Exactly. Bring me in. I will chant to whoever I need to.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well, we're gonna get into memory today. I'd love to kind of just like off the bat, you'd be like, what do you think about when you think about memory? Like, what is kind of the first thing?
I mean, right off the top of my head, like memories are like a collection of experiences that people go through, things they've done in their lives, things they remember, want to regret, cherish. You know, it could be a whole wide gamut of things. Memories, yeah.
Yeah, I think my like media analogy for it is Inside Out, just because there's literal physical manifestations for that character of like what each moment is, and then there's like this little like highlight reel within them, which is super cool. And there's like these core memories that like really do affect your personality, or kind of just like who you are.
Yeah,
I find that analogy really strong. I don't know if it's it's cool to just like think about memory in that way, because there is like a deep memory, there's like a dump, there's like the things that
there are whole things that are like locked away that you don't remember until like the last second, or just like something triggers it. You have like the ones you forget because people are always like you take in so much information every single day that your brain naturally dumps out all the things that aren't important. And there's like so many like stories of people who their memories as a child are wildly different from their parents' memories as a child because of just how their brain filtered out certain things, either because of trauma or just their age and experiences up to that point. It's just, memory is very interesting.
Yeah, and you can go in a lot of different ways with it, because like there's happy memories, there's emotion attached to memories, like just point blank. And so I think like 2 things about memory that really fascinate me. I love the idea of nostalgia. I'm a big nostalgia core person, just because like
90s baby right here.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
We had so much to be nostalgic for.
Yes. What a goated decade.
And I was born in it, so I feel a part of it. But like I think I also subsequently consumed a little bit of like the after effects of the culture like into the early 2000s. So I feel like a 90s kid, even though some people will
argue with you. But
yes, of course. Well, because
I mean the 90s is kind of turning around right now.
We're back to the
Everyone's
90s.
looking for bell bottoms and shit. Like, what? Well, I mean, that's more 70s, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, but the 90s were the coming back of the 70s for a lot of people, too, in terms of style.
Yeah, better style, though.
Yes, I agree. So one of the first, little segments of the show is to, dive, obviously about memory, but I want to dive into our memories of each other.
Okay.
And so I always say Gusty's first, like feel like the floor is yours to kind of, I don't know, remind or share with our audience what your memory of me was.
My first memory of you is at Sam's house on the porch. It was like his second or third get together since I had moved back to Tulsa back in February. I think your hair was like green at
It was like probably washed out blue.
Okay, washed out blue. I don't know. Don't judge me or like don't hate me, but I think my first memory of you was like, oh, that's a very gay man. But like, I mean, like I didn't think too much of it because like it was like there was tons of food everywhere. I had just brought Taco Bell.
I remember the Taco Bell in the box.
Yeah, because like I was like running late and I hate being late to things, and so I was like, "Fuck, I need to like." I was supposed to bring food, so I went to Taco Bell, got like a.
Well, it was
a
like
box.
3 p.m. on a Friday too.
It was, and I was just like all over the place that day. So I went to like Taco Bell, it's right down the street from me. Got like a box of like 20 tacos. And you had brought some crockpot thing, I think.
I brought like what did I bring? It was like. Shoot, was it like queso or something?
It might have been queso. It was good too.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it was. was like February, but this get together might have been February or March, because it could have been like something I made for like our Super Bowl party that we had just had at our house. But I'm like, I don't know if the timelines are right here. This is this year.
Yeah, literally this year.
What we're like, wait, did it happen like this?
Not even 12 months ago.
Exactly.
Yeah. My memory's not always great, but like I remember that. I had only positive things to say about you, to be honest. Yeah.
Well, I feel like that was like my first time really being exposed to like our mutual friends.
Yeah.
And Sam gets dropped on this podcast a couple of times. In our episode with Drew, we mentioned Sammy, of course.
Yeah.
And he's a coworker of mine and friend of mine, and like I gotta have him on. He's notorious at this point, but like the whole notebook like concept and idea is something that has started to, I think, have ripple effects into other people's relationships, because like now I know so many of his connections through him, but also through Drew in some interesting ways, and I'm like really grateful for that. That day that we first met, Jackson was also there, and I remember being like, oh, that's who that is. Or like, I'd seen this guy before, but never
actually interacted with him.
Yeah, never had the opportunity to like really interact. This was also, I think Max was there, our good buddy Max Noble. Or maybe it was a second.
He's off at some Ivy League right now. I keep wanting to say Columbia, but I know that's wrong.
I think it's Duke or
it is Duke. Yeah. I mean, he's a brilliant, so like I get it. But
we love Max. We're probably getting memes from him right now.
Oh yeah,
on Instagram.
Yeah, we're in Max's meme pipeline, which is great. Like I just don't respond, so he keeps it to a low. Like I love you, Max. I love you. See this? I love you, but.
No, it's I also don't respond. Don't look at them. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's a lot,
but like I do be on Instagram like that. You know, we're on Instagram sending each other stuff, but like consuming memes. It's also like TikTok messages. Like that is one thing I'm starting to get like the hang for. Like you know, my sister sends me TikToks, and I'm like, okay, I gotta watch this because I know it's gonna be funny as fuck.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you feel like that about me when I rarely send you ones. There's one that I sent you within the past like month or so that made me laugh so hard. It's that Birdo like cunty walk, like where she's playing the Mario Strikers, like the soccer game, and they just like have it layered and timed perfectly to like a ballroom.
Yes. That was hilarious.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Because Birdo's an icon. She's an LGBT icon.
She is. No, that was amazing. I used to love the ones. I don't know if you've seen them, but it's kind of the same type of ballroom, and it's someone slipping and falling, but as they're falling, it flips to a death drop. Those were prolific on TikTok like a year or two ago, and I loved every single one.
Absolutely. So separate from our friendship, I would say like I've also had like an interesting and cool opportunity to like connect with you professionally. Like there was one time we have a not too distant memory of like literally July this year where I had like set up this whole photo shoot and stuff for video shoot with work. And I show up, I'm run ragged that week because this was like our last week of the summer programming. And I show up and you were there taking social media, which was awesome. Yeah,
you walked in, I was like, what is happening?
What's going on? Campus talk.
But it was kind of funny too, because like I mean, like it was Lyndon was the one filming everything.
Yeah.
And I met Lyndon a long time ago, back when Tyrants was just starting Black Tech Street.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get into video, and Obum, who's like in a lot of plays around town.
Yeah. I went and saw Raisin in the Sun of his. So good.
Back in the day, he used to run what was now Atlas School, but it was Holberton. He was like the operations manager or something back then. But anyway, he connected me with Lyndon. And I go out there in Black Wall Street area. Tyrants is out there. And Lyndon's just like on his little one wheel, scooting around. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
One wheel?
Oh, he still has that one wheel too. But I mean, he gets those smooth shots. But like,
that's cool.
But like he knows I'm gay and everything, and I mean I don't hide it or anything. But like I'm a little bit more like Maz when I'm with like a bunch of straight boys.
Yeah.
And here you walk in, I'm like,
hey Diva, bestie.
Yeah, you're like, I'm like, hey. It's like, I mean,
I always bring gay to the function.
No, it's great. But yeah, no, like I just like, you know how people have a million different masks. I just have my little mask, and like, cause like I think if I don't, I'm like. I was probably going to flirt with Lyndon, and I'm like, let me just like keep a little like mode of separation because he's like married, he has kids, and I'm just like, I'm not trying to flirt with this man. And
I did.
Oh yeah, but he's also just very like earnest and very
Intelligent.
He's very intelligent, but like it's not that. It's like he's very there's like a pureness about him in a certain fashion. He's still a man, obviously, but a thing about him where I just like don't want to cross that boundary. Cause like he led me in to be fun, but like I'm just like I don't hunt anymore. I don't do that shit anymore.
No, that's so fair.
But like you walk in, I'm like, oh, God damn. It's like
Oops, the veil is down.
You know what I mean? It's like not my world's meshing, but like that was fun though.
But it was it was natural in a way of like I love that this community of Tulsa and creatives, like I'm out here soliciting bids for video projects, and then my friends are on those video projects, and in some ways I was like super glad to know that the money that my job was spending was going also to like employing a friend and local and all these things. So
and Lyndon's best in town. Like his attention to detail, his like passion for videography and like video in general is nonstop. Like he's coming out with a new YouTube video today about some piece of tech, and if you watch it, like his ability to ramble off the facts and opinions about a piece of tech is next to nothing.
That's awesome.
And so
I'll have to check that out. Yeah, the videos that he produced for us are awesome. I was like, Campus Tulsa needs a YouTube channel at this point if we're gonna have these high quality videos on there.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we're leaning into YouTube now.
Oh yeah, do it. No, YouTube's been the future for a while, but YouTube's great.
Well, and not to get too much into work, but like it really is a platform that I know our audience resonates
100%.
with, or at least is on. I don't necessarily know how much of a rabbit hole someone's gonna go down hearing video testimonials of people, but if we were to mix up the content, there could be some stuff there.
You do a lot.
Engagement. Yeah, so I really enjoy like just this community of Tulsa creatives, and like within 1 year, like my friend circle has like expanded so much. I mean, from meeting you in like March or February when we were talking about like I probably see you like every other week at this point.
It's so true.
Then we went and got K-barbecue the other day, which was super fun. I'm finally in the group chat.
You're finally in the WhatsApp. Yeah.
The WhatsApp group chat is so interesting because I'm like, don't most people just have a group text? But different folks from all different areas.
There's been like different iterations of the group chat. Like the WhatsApp group, I wasn't in it until like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And that's because that group like was originally for like the float trip. And like I was getting surgery. So like I
wasn't invited.
Oh yeah, sorry. Julia probably didn't know you as well back then, so she just didn't pitch you in there.
No, and that's fair. I'm mostly shading Drew with that because Drew went back and forth on whether he wanted to invite me or not.
Oh really? Oh, that's funny.
He like told me about it, and then like it kept getting closer, and Drew was like,
at that point, like, as it gets closer, Drew's probably just like, it's too late.
Yeah, it's too complicated and all these things. Yeah. But I know I'm so glad to have the friends that I have, like, and through our friend group and everything. And there's a lot of really talented and intelligent people that I think are really one of the reasons why I love being in Tulsa. So that's
and low drama too.
I love drama.
Low drama.
Oh,
which is like rare for like a large friend group. But
that's
like,
true. Yeah. There's some drama.
Oh, no, there's drama. It's small, but like
I think we are good, or I don't even want to let myself into it yet. I haven't caused drama in this group yet. I'm hoping not to. I'm apparently doing that in another friend group right now, which I need to stop. But yes, it's a low amount of drama, or at least I think that we can be adults about it.
Yeah, most people are adults about it. Yeah,
there's a lot of drama we could be adults about. Yeah. Well, I'm really excited to broach this topic with you of what we're going to be diving into.
Wait,
today.
No, what was your first opinion? What was your first memory of me? You never said
hot.
It. Thank you. I don't think so. I mean, back then I was like 350, really in my feelings about my life. So
Well, I what I love about like just like when I think about you as a person, like almost every time. As our friendship has gotten like deeper, I've like learned new things about you, and those things like have always continued to like endear you to me. Not that like we're there's a point system or anything like that, but like
I have a point system. Yeah, you're at like a 30 right now.
I'll take it.
I'm kidding.
30 out of anything, I'll take it. I love your house. Your sense of style is impeccable.
Thank you.
You have a gorgeous cat.
He's great. Yeah,
we've bonded over our little kitties, and I mean, I kind of mentioned it like up top. Like, I think that your approach to like many conversations is like rooted in a strong sense of self and like an experience that I value because I don't have, but like I can understand. Okay, that's always kind of how I felt about Kevin. So
Thank you. Yeah, I'm always curious what people think about me, but I've stopped asking because like no one ever really wants to tell you the truth, or at least tell you like the unvarnished like nitty gritty. Because I mean, no one wants to be mean to somebody to their face, and I get that. So
yeah, and I don't,
or even like not even like mean necessarily, just like harsh and overly, because you don't know how people are going to react.
Absolutely, so. I think that I have like a good presentation of almost like any bit of information. So I if I were to ever be a drag queen, which I want to, I'll really have to work on reading a bit. I have shady things to say.
You can be the nice drag queen, though.
I'm nice, but I'm not always nice.
I mean, you don't have to be.
I was like, the Scorpio in me pops off and out sometimes, but
that tail comes up. Just
yes, literally. Well, let's dive into our topic today. Any guesses on what you think I might pitch to you to try and remember? I love asking people this.
I have no clue. I spent half a second yesterday trying to think through it, but you said like you don't even like think about it until the day of. I was like, I'm gonna do the same, so I'm not like coming with canned responses.
Exactly.
And so
memory is like fickle and not something that if I were to have like literally on the drive over here, I changed the topic.
Did you really? Oh my god!
Not like too drastically, but like I.
Okay, wait. What was the original topic?
Well, I can't spoil it because it is a reveal. But
okay.
All right, so let's dust off our filing cabinets, start up our hippocampuses, and let us reminisce. Okay, so we're gonna get into the topic today, and I'm really excited to share with you, Kevin, that we are going to be talking about cartoons.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, hell yeah.
There's quite, and the reasons that I landed on this specifically is because I've been in your home, and I know that you are inspired by, you like to collect nerdy shit sometimes, totally. And there's one scene, or like one anime, if you will. I don't know, there's kind of a debate on if this is an anime or cartoon.
It's technically just a cartoon, but it has been given honorary anime status.
Right.
Because of how good it is.
Exactly. And you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Okay, so that was what the topic was going to be, but I'm zooming it out to cartoons because maybe you have a least favorite memory related to a different cartoon. But you can also keep them in the Avatar: The Last Airbender universe.
Cartoons are a big part of my growing up. Avatar is the one I grabbed onto the most because I think it is almost the foundation of my moral system. Yeah.
It's a big world.
It's a big world, but also like the creators did not shy away from telling a very complicated moral story. Yep. And also putting truly adult themes in it, like war, strife, genocide, things like that. Obviously, they kept it more lighthearted because it is a children's cartoon, but it holds up in such a way that, it comes back on Netflix. Mm-hmm. And then a whole new generation picks it up and runs with it. Yep. And it dominates TikTok for months. And like now you have like my generation, like the middle to elder millennials who grew up with it and saw it, and we have a different memory and different attachment to certain parts of Avatar. Yeah. And then you have the Gen Z generation who came up, and they're all about Zuko and his arc, and we all love Zuko, but like. The way
but he's the villain.
No, like his he was never the villain, but he was always
anti-hero.
Anti-hero, but also this like beautifully written arc across three complete seasons, which in the streaming era you never get that anymore. You never get a complete show.
Yeah, because that's true.
So
cancellations
many, and so many like creators and producers and directors, showrunners, they never know if that service is going to cancel their show early. And you see that honestly with Korra a lot, where those the show is good on its own, but it's disjointed in the way The Last Airbender isn't, because every single season they didn't know if it was going to be one season or they're going to get it renewed. Yeah, and I remember that drama back in the day because it went from like being on Nickelodeon to going on Nickelodeon's early streaming service.
Oh,
to
Korra?
like. Huh?
The Korra?
Yeah. Back when it was like still new and they were still putting it out. Yeah. It started on the network. Had a terrible time slot on like a Friday. Then they and like that first season, like the creators were like, this is gonna be the only season. Blah 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 blah.
But the first season of Korra is really
good. And people loved it, and so they're like, okay, we're gonna bring it back. they still treated them like shit, put it in some weird time slot, I think. And then like the third or last season, they put it on their streaming service, and that's the only place you could find it.
But that's also when I feel like it had a cultural moment for me in high school because of the ending. I know we're low-key going to be talking about spoilers, at least with this one. But
of course.
That the Korra Nasami walking away.
The whole lesbian... You know what I mean?
Yes, it's so good. And the adult themes, I think, is in particular.
It's more prevalent there. Because obviously, like, we were a lot older. I think I was in... God, I'm old. I was either in high school already or I was already out of high school in college or the military when it was premiering. But yeah, like it was definitely for like an older crowd who grew up with Last Airbender.
Yeah, and all the characters are like set as like late teens or early 20s folks.
But they also leaned more into the anime aspects of it.
Especially in the fighting. Oh my gosh.
Like the power scaling was unnecessary in some ways, but also I loved it because like everyone's big favorite fights in the Korra universe is Korra versus Kuvira, because Kuvira was like such a minor character in like the second or whatever season.
I think it's the second season where she's got to like fight all the criminals that like have ever.
But she was literally just like a poorly drawn character fighting next to Korra and the gang, and then she's like the big bad, but she's also like. Oh, fight! Like she threw down.
Well, and there's that one scene in season 2 where like it's the metal benders. So this is I'm trying to remember like it's like Toph's family.
Beifongs.
Yes, Beifong, and they like she metal bends like this rock to squeeze her head. That comes up on TikTok all the time, and it's that was a kid's show.
That was the first time I was like, wait, they killed somebody in this show.
They killed someone in that show. Like there's been a couple of moments where that show gets really. Yeah. See, I knew I should have done Avatar, but we can open it up. No, but we can do more
because like there's so much more there. Like my earliest TV shows growing up were Sailor Moon.
Oh yeah.
Cloud Captors. When I say I should have known I was gay a long time ago, because I love a strong woman protagonist.
Oh baby,
like
same.
Sailor Moon. My favorite character was Sailor Jupiter, the clear lesbian. The clear lesbian.
She's the green one with the pixie
green
cut.
one, and she would throw her little like Sailor whatever Jupiter like little like energy ball. And when I say I would get hype every time, like how did I not know I was gay? Because I loved a strong female character. But then Cloud Captors, there's this scene whenever she would summon a card. She would like spin it and like do her little wand, and then she would like hit the tip of her wand on the card. But she would stick her butt out and like do it. I practiced that in my house. Like I would practice with the wand, like a little fake wand, just and like about it. But I also had like my like bro shows where I like loved Pokemon.
Pokemon being a bro show. That's what's so funny about that is like I feel like my LGBT representation was in Pokemon in a lot of ways.
True.
Jesse and James, queer icons. I'm literally cosplaying as James
queer
to
icons.
This day.
But also like my favorite was Mew, like the clear like fairy, like always about it.
You love Jigglypuff.
Jigglypuff was great. Yeah, man.
Her humor. So honestly, the Jigglypuff like bit where like she just puts everyone's ass to sleep.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
Very alphabet coded. You know, very Wicked before Wicked. But like, no, it's such a good show. I mean, but I was more of a Digimon person just because like I was a hipster from a young age. I love
Digimon too. That one caught me. Let's get because I think that what we just hit on my favorite memory.
Yeah.
But I want you to go first and see if you can kind of guide us through like a succinct favorite memory related to the topic of cartoons.
Okay. Oof. That's a good one. You know what? I think one of my favorite memories related to cartoons is around anime. It's coming home after like middle school or high school, turning on the TV right when Toonami is starting, and watching Dragon Ball Z. Rurouni Kenshin was my show.
Rurouni Kenshin.
Love that show. I used to like watch the OVAs where he was like the manslayer and it was bloody as fuck. And being like, oh my, like being on like Kazaa and LimeWire looking for him and finding the 4 OVAs of his
OVAs, original voice acting.
Oh, is that what that means? I never knew. I just called them OVAs.
I was like, what is an OVA? I gotta check it.
It was always in the title, and I just knew the OVA meant it was like the old school
original video animation.
Or okay, originally animation, but back in the day when he was like Batosai the Manslayer, my AIM username was Batosai. But I spelled it wrong. It was Batosi, Batosi, like 89 or some shit.
I live.
But funnily enough, like veering off from cartoons for half a second.
Yeah. After
like my Toonami run, I would watch every episode of Stargate SG-1 on Sci-Fi.
Okay.
Back when we had what's it called? Cable.
Yes.
So I like watch my Toonami
Don't
shows.
even remember what cable's called.
You know what I mean? Like it's all streaming now. But then turn over to Sci-Fi, watch SG-1.
Yeah. Hop back and forth. Absolutely. So really the like continual practice of coming home and there being like your shows on.
Yeah, it was my routine.
Yeah.
Like, because I'd get home, my mom was probably at work. I had the house to myself. You know, Cartoon Network was the place. I was more of a Nickelodeon kid, but Cartoon Network was like Toonami, unbeatable. And yeah, just like watching 10 fucking episodes of Goku screaming to become Super Saiyan.
Literally.
And like loving every second of it, not realizing that I'm watching 10 episodes of filler. Amazing. You know what I mean? Amazing.
I was like that. I think Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball like definitely originated the filler concept where like, holy shit, one fight was like 6 episodes long.
6 episodes. That Namek arc, they leaned into the fucking filler. But they like apparently they cleaned all that up. Like in the reissuing of it, or like when now it's called Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball GT, they got rid of all the filler.
Yeah.
Because I think like the current generation could not sit through 5 episodes of like
No, and in fact, like so many animes that like drop on Netflix these days are like 10 episodes, or I think like 10 to 14 is like a sweet spot.
Yeah.
Even Kakegurui was just one of our favorites. It's like 6 episodes long.
Kakeguri's the gambling one, right?
Like I'm here to get my gambling freak on.
Oh my god, me, Jackson, and. It might have been Jamel, but somebody else. We started watching Kakegurui before I left, like, and moved to Denver.
Yeah.
And, like, what a horny ass show.
Horny ass show. What a gay ass show.
Gay ass, horny ass show.
Oh my gosh. And both the Kakegurui Zero or like both animes that they put out that are like in that universe are like so like. Ooh, I love it like, when it's heavy-handed though.
Yeah, because like, why is there a scene of like that one girl simulating coming, like essentially coming, or like being so wet that she's puddling the floor because she's taking the riskiest bet. Literally,
lots of lip biting,
and literally water just spilling all over the floor. I'm like,
it's so
why?
Good. I live.
Yes.
Okay, so I've got to share my favorite because it's really like one of those moments where I feel like it did set my life on a different trajectory.
Yeah.
So it's such an interesting movie because like I have watched it recently and it's one of those things that still holds up, which is what I really, really love about animation specifically. I think that the genre, the medium, if you will, like the camera quality doesn't necessarily change, and it can look different in terms of like visual, but something that is from the 90s but like was animated like can look really good. For example, like the Studio Ghibli movies and all those things.
Beautiful masterpieces.
But the Digimon movie,
the
original one, is I think like from top to end, like a perfect film.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Even the like bit at the beginning that's like, I don't remember what, I've got to look it up what it's called. There's like a...
The song?
No, there's like a bit at the beginning where it's like Janet Planet or something. It's not Janet Planet, but it's like this, like such a silly. This is like kind of counterpoint to the whole podcast is me Googling things that I can't remember. Angela Anaconda.
Oh my god!
Bit at the beginning. This is what this is what Wikipedia says the like byline is for it. Angela Anaconda and her friends line up to watch Digimon the movie, but Nanette and her friends cut in line, and Miss Brinks blocks her view of the screen. Angela imagines herself digivolving into Angelamon to defeat Miss Brinks and Nanette before the audience all realize they're in the wrong theater and leave.
Not Angelamon.
Angelamon. See, what's so funny about that is it is in the universe of the movie, but it's kind of like one of those, I don't know what you would call it, like a a prologue. It's
Yeah,
a
it's like
prologue, if you
yeah.
will, but like fully different art style and everything.
So it's like a animatic.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, which fits so well in that universe. I gotta just like talk this movie. It's called Digimon Adventure or Digimon the movie, and it really is like three. I think it's like three movies, kind of all seamlessly, I would say, put together that also like give you a backstory into how Digimon are even created in the digital world.
Yeah, I remember.
Because like there's this egg, and these two little boys find this egg, and it's Ty who's got like the crazy hair and stuff, and Izzy's in it too as a little kid, and their little boy selves and stuff. And so I was a little boy watching like a little boy like discover this digital world in some ways, and like how something like that cannot be what you think it is. Like once the world opens up and danger starts to be involved, like catastrophe can happen. But like as long as you have the power of friendship and these like digital monsters that can digivolve, it's
every coming of age story, the power of friendship.
Exactly.
Every anime too.
But like they absolutely like do have like this ragtag group of kids that kind of have like these wild connections and stuff. I feel like in what's also really stands out about this movie is that the antagonist is a evil Digimon that has a sentience to it, like has a philosophy,
has an awareness about him.
That's like, I'm going to destroy the world, like
kind of like Mewtwo.
Because I was like, and this is so funny. 2000s Digimon, Pokemon, like competing properties and everything. Like
And we watched both.
I haven't seen the Pokemon 2000 movie in a really, really long time, so I probably should go back and like really compare them. But this is the one that like really gets me because it kind of hits on just so many of those themes of like growing up, the difficulties of friendship, a magical world, also Angemon and Angelamon. Those like
Angelamon.
They're like. It's so funny. I think they digivolve from like this little like mouse thing, and then this little like cat Gatomon, and they digivolve into these like hot, strappy angel Digimon.
So it's also a gay awakening for you in a way.
A root.
A root.
Where I was like, this diva. Oh, he's hot.
Like, who is that?
And they're like twins, but like the blue and the pink color palette switches.
Wait, can I ask you a question about memory?
Oh, tell. Ask.
What is your first memory of like being attracted to a man? Like figuring out that, oh, I think I'm into guys.
I just isolated this at Queerlandia the other day. I think it's the pacifier with Vin Diesel and then also subsequently the Tooth Fairy with Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Interesting.
The Pacifier is a movie where basically like he becomes, this is 2005, so I literally was 8 years old watching.
Back when Vin Diesel was still black.
Exactly. Well, back when I was like, any man with muscle actually like did it for me.
Yeah.
The plot is that this Navy SEAL is assigned as a babysitter to a dead man's family.
Okay.
So it's like kind of these like noble beginnings now that I think about it. I probably haven't watched it in like a really, really long time, but he just becomes like a hot dad.
Oh, okay.
Of like a baby, like a little girl, a teenager that's, on his luck, and then like a teenage girl who's like too cool for school. But he is the dad that steps up, and
he's the dad who steps up.
It's pretty
a true
hot.
stepfather.
It's pretty hot.
I vaguely remember that movie. Vaguely.
Yeah.
But like,
hot. There's something about that. Well, and I hadn't watched like anything else with him other than that. I don't think, because he was like
a big Fast and Furious person.
No, I was like, this is like Fast and Furious era for him, and I never got into those. Man. That universe was so big. I think the only one that like slightly got me cinematically was like Transformers.
Oh, okay.
But like didn't, because Shia LaBeouf. We can't.
I'm sorry. Okay. You're gonna. Don't cancel me, everybody. There's a couple of things I can say that people cancel me for. One is about Demon Slayer, but
because you hate it.
I don't hate Demon Slayer. I don't like Demon Slayer.
It's okay,
but there's a real good reason for it that I can share. But like, what were we talking about?
Shia LaBeouf.
I love Shia LaBeouf. I'm sorry. I grew up on Even Stevens.
Yeah.
He was in some movie back in the day.
Disturbia.
not Disturbia. I don't know. I've always loved Shia LaBeouf. I've always been a Shia fan. I know he's problematic, but I'm standing by my man.
Yeah, I'm not going to cancel you because I could.
Honestly, him and Miles Teller.
Okay.
But I do love an ugly white boy, like a semi-ugly white boy.
There's such an interesting niche.
You know what I mean?
Personality there.
I don't know. Miles Teller has the Riz, and there's like a recent video of him with that guy from Gossip Girl, the first Gossip Girl, who's now who plays the Deep in The Boys.
Yes, yeah.
Where like it's just their wives filming them like living a normal life, and it's him and the Deep guy, shirts off, just like cooking or something.
He's hot.
And I'm like, God, Miles Teller is just like, because Miles Teller is also another problematic actor.
See, I don't know much about his problematicness. I watched Whiplash, and he's like really fucking good in that movie.
Yeah, I think he's just a little bit overly cocky or some shit. Like he's kind of like a nightmare actor to work with, if I'm remembering correctly.
I feel like this is all from the Divergent series, but that was maybe how his character was written. I just recently watched all of them.
No. Yeah. Divergent is a moment. Yeah, that whole teen dystopia moment.
It declines so quickly. It's wild.
Every studio thought it was the next big thing after Hunger Games. No.
And it could have been. I think they just like fully they rewrote the ending of the book for the movie. Like they completely changed it because they didn't like it. And I'm like, that's when you lose. That's when you lose the plot, literally.
Yeah. And the fandom.
Yeah.
Because like they back in those days, everyone read the book first.
Yeah.
And they were ready for the movies. And when you change something like that, so like fundamental to the story, it ruins everything. So
yeah, I agree. Okay, well, let's take a quick detour into the memory dump. If you go into your hippocampus, which is where the memory is stored, and you take a left,
traveling in there,
you just fall right down in the memory dump. And that's where we're at when we're thinking about our least favorite memories.
Okay, Joy just left the control room.
Exactly. You know. Anxiety's taken over,
right?
So let's, share with me when you think about cartoons and, you know, we'll throw anime into the cartoon bucket. Like, what comes to mind for you as your least favorite memory related to it?
Ooh, that is really hard. Damn. You know what? I'll bring it back up. Demon Slayer. I'll tell the story. You know what I mean? Like, because like as a child, like cartoons were everything. Mm-hmm. I think maybe if I go back that far. Maybe my least favorite moments are like when my favorite characters like died or got hurt, like in like Rurouni Kenshin, the arc with the burnt guy, that was a moment. Mm-hmm. But I will bring up Demon Slayer because like it was in Tulsa. A bunch of our friends, our mutual friends, we all decided to go. They wanted to see the Demon Slayer movie.
Yeah, Mugen Train.
Yeah, and at that time, I was not watching a lot of anime, really at all.
Yeah.
And so I had been out of practice and watching shonen anime, which is like very teen specific. They put all like they tell, don't show.
Yeah.
And at that point in my life, I've been watching a lot of prestige dramas, a lot of prestige television where they show, don't tell, where you have to pay attention and like watch the show and understand what's going on, and the writing's sharp and it's together, the acting is next level. But like I wanted to hang out with my friends. I liked anime at one point in my mind back then. I'm like, let's go see Demon Slayer movie. And like you brought up earlier that like the Digimon movie was like 3 different movies put into one.
Yeah.
I think that's just like a practice in anime movies where they put together like 3 episodes of a show into one.
That's what I don't like that practice if it's clearly a part of like a television show.
Yeah.
You know, it's different. Like they could have made a cinematic experience of Demon Slayer that didn't feel like a show. And then they ultimately did do that, I think, a little bit later.
They have. I think the first one, the one I saw, was a money grab. Yeah. Because like JJK, like Jujutsu Kaisen, they have a proper movie and all that stuff, right?
That's separate from the
That's separate,
it's
a
universe,
prequel.
Like,
Yeah, back when Gojo. Anyway, have you seen the Gojo guy from the lookalike contest in the park?
No. Oh, we got it.
Oh, I follow him on Instagram now.
Homework assignment. They're doing a Timothy Chalamet lookalike contest at Circle Cinema for the Bob Dylan movie.
Love him. Love Timothy. We had this conversation this weekend, actually. But, like, anyway, I won't get into Timothy. But, like, so my bad, we go into the theater. I just did not prepare myself because I had like forgotten what shonen anime was like.
Yeah.
And it's just like a lot of exposition, some fight scenes, which the fight scenes are great.
Yeah.
The animation's great. But like you have this guy with the anime eyes just like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Look at him. He's so strong. I can't believe I'm going to fight him now. I'm going to hit him. I'm going to run and then hit him. And then I'm going to move back up. Oh my God, he's strong. And I'm sitting there.
That is the writing.
Yeah. And I'm just sitting there like, they like this?
Or I'm like, I'm 30 years old.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I was like 33 at the time. I'm just like, what is going, like, why are we watching this?
Yeah.
And everyone else loved it. And then like it flips. And I'm like, wait a minute. Is this episodes of the show stitched together?
Yeah.
Because like it goes from like, it's like the train scene, then it switches to some demon somewhere in the woods or some shit like that. No connection between the train and this scene.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there like, why is this three episodes in a show? And it's not even 3 concurrent episodes. It's just like 3 disparate episodes that they just blob together and put into the show. And ever since then, I've never watched Demon Slayer the show. And everyone's so surprised by it because like I love JJK. I finally watched I'm back in my like anime renaissance for a little bit. And it started with Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
Amazing show.
It is a great show.
No, honestly, it started with Attack on Titan.
Oh, also a great show.
Yeah, because Attack on Titan doesn't do the shonen anime thing where it just gives you a million bits of exposition and doesn't show you anything.
No, you get right into the action with that show.
Right into the action, but also like...
And to the allegory.
Yeah, the gory, but also like the like trauma and the effects of what happens earlier in the story carry through.
Absolutely.
So like you understand why Eren Yeager starts to become what he becomes. Yeah. Then you get like to like the Marley arc, you understand even more about like the world. And then like even as the world expands beyond the island into like the larger world of Attack on Titan, there are still parts of it that connect back to like those earlier episodes when it was just it. Yeah. And I was like, this is like good writing. Yeah. Like this is like a shonen show that's grown up into whatever that's called now and that caliber of anime. And so love that. Got into Jujutsu Kaisen because like I think I was just primed again for anime.
Yeah, but I think you touched on that. I think your least favorite memory and my least favorite memory I think are like right here next to each other because like there is something about like I think the medium of anime specifically where like the direction can go where like I'm no longer an adult anymore. I'm a kid, and like I either like this, my kid self likes this, or my kid self is like, I don't fuck with this.
Exactly.
If it's not appealing to either, it's like it's a wash for me. Yeah. No, and I think that the Demon Slayer example for you is interesting because like my kid self loves it, and so I still love it. Yeah. But like in that, I didn't necessarily like that plot device or that like. I guess, choice that they make in stringing together 3 episodes. Yeah. One of my favorite shows ever, Futurama does this actually with like their movies. Yeah. I guess in just like the way that they release it on streamers instead. Okay. But they basically make one of the, like all of the movies that have come out in the Futurama universe, like episodically, they release it episodically, I guess, in the streamer. So if you're on Hulu, season like 7 or 8 is just the movie like Bender's Game or whatever. Or like the Beast with a Billion Backs or something like that.
So it's like the seasons are packaged like as a whole arc?
Yeah, but it's the but if you watched it all together without the episode breaks, it's just the movie. Oh. And I'm like,
that's kind of lazy.
I would rather watch the movie. Yeah. Like let me sit through it all in one sitting. Yeah. I think trying to and it's funny, they don't rewrite anything. They don't really string together the beginnings and the ends very well, which is why the episode breaks like don't make any sense.
Because they just cut it.
They cut it hard and then bring it back like everything's fine. But I'm like, that should have just been a different scene.
Did they release it all at once or episode by like week by week?
When they released it, they released the movies. But now on the streamers, it's like episode by episode. So I don't know.
It's a cash grab.
Exactly.
They're being lazy.
And like cheap. I mean, that show's been through like network switches and episode changes a lot.
The fact that it came back at all is crazy.
It's really good on Hulu, the newest season. I really love it. I really love
people are swearing by it, yeah.
So I think my least favorite memory relating to cartoons is gonna have to be, it's really interesting because in fact I really really like this show and I really really like what I've watched of this show. Okay. But what kind of the universe around it, the culture behind it, and kind of just these little different things, I think have like a little bit not spoiled it for me, but just like not really invited me to be in. I think how expansive it is.
Okay.
And so, like the summer of 2019, everyone's best years.
Everyone's best years.
Everyone's
Pre-COVID.
best year of their life, literally.
Yeah.
I decided to like take a deep dive into Naruto. And I watched the first 3 or 4, I think it's 4 seasons of Naruto original. Not Shippuden, not nothing, just Naruto itself. Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It is like actually the besides, I haven't watched all of Dragon Ball Z, but I really do feel like Naruto's like seasons 1 through 4 plots and arcs and all of those
they're
things.
amazing. Yeah,
they're so good, and they are the trend setters for
they
so
are.
many things.
They are. Yeah, no, Naruto and like you were either like a Naruto kid or a Dragon Ball Z kid, and if you got lucky and you got to see both as they were coming out, like what a great time in your life.
I think that like literally Suzanne Collins got the idea for the Hunger Games from the Chunin games.
I believe it. Yeah.
Because like that's what I know, like something or that's what I love about watching like older stuff that like actually like set the standard for things. I'm like, that was so good and inspired. Like everything is inspired from that arc because it was so good.
You know what's funny? Naruto is actually not the blueprint. Hunter x Hunter is.
Hunter x Hunter, yeah.
Because like it is pretty common in shonen anime that the first arc is like a tournament of some type. And I believe
Well, My Hero is the same way.
Yeah, My Hero's the same way. But Hunter x Hunter is like a very old show, like early 90s. Like what you see now is like a reanimation of it.
Interesting.
And like a little bit, because I think what's his name, Yasuka or whatever his name is, he was more creepy in the original whatever. But I was like on TikTok and people were talking about how like Naruto is heavily borrowed from Hunter x Hunter.
Interesting.
And that the creator of Naruto openly admits that his like main inspiration is Hunter x Hunter.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so like it actually isn't like Naruto became the trendsetter for our generation, but like for Gen X and stuff, they remember Hunter x Hunter more.
Interesting.
Because like Hunter x Hunter and
I wonder if that's a commercialization thing too, just like different markets. Like maybe it being in Japan, it was bigger. And
I don't know, like Hunter x Hunter apparently came out in America and it's well known by like Gen X and like earlier generations from the 90s. Because like I remember like those early 90s animes like Trigun, Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, Cowboy Bebop.
But also Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yes, I want to watch that one. So I have like in my Pokemon binder of cards, I have some Yu Yu Hakusho cards, which I'm like, what are these from?
Yu Yu Hakusho is my original favorite anime before Rurouni Kenshin came on the scene. But yeah, no, Naruto is based off of both of those animes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and this gets into, I think, something that is related to just my least favorite memory of it all is the fact that like Naruto I felt like what I watched was such a good like beginning and end of a storyline.
Yeah.
And the fact that it is so long, so expansive after that, like it became this like beast of a watch. Like
it is a beast.
I can't get into it. And this is my issue with One Piece too.
Oh yeah,
like,
I can't get into One Piece.
I really, really loved the One Piece live action because I think it did, create this world that I could get into with characters that I did know from another property.
Yeah.
But like, I cannot go into a 1,000+ episode show with any sort of interest unless there's like a guide on like watch this episode.
There is a guide.
There is a guide.
But like I don't know what it is about One Piece, and like your viewers are going to hate me, especially your anime watchers. I have not been able to get past the first 3 episodes of One Piece. Live action or cartoon.
Oh, really?
I just can't do it. For some reason,
You hate pirates.
No, that's not true. I don't know why. I think it is the fact that it's over 1,000 episodes. I just like something in my brain is like I refuse.
Yeah.
I refuse because like I even found the list where it's like these are the episodes from every arc that you should watch for One Piece, where you can skip all the filler episodes that are not useful for you.
Yeah.
I tried to start following it. Couldn't do it. Like I try and watch an episode of One Piece and I'm just like bored. And I don't know why, because like it's a objectively great show.
And your brain is just blocking it because like there's just no way to, I think, even conceptualize how you're gonna fully digest like everything that's put out there content wise in a enjoyable experience.
Exactly. And like where that doesn't connect with me with Naruto is that I grew up watching Naruto. I didn't know anything about One Piece back in the day. Because I was like an anime nerd, but not like a deep anime nerd where I was like going deep into like all the extra stuff. So if it wasn't on like one of the main TV shows, I didn't give a shit.
Well, and I think it's not. I think that those animes specifically, so maybe like the shonen ones, are like set up to where like if you can understand who the characters are, you can jump into any episode and have an enjoyable experience where it's essentially episodic. But like, I think Attack on Titan and Demon Slayer, like in some ways are a little bit different because of the shorter season and like a more refined, holistic storyline.
Yeah, they're more modern, right? Because like there's, I mean, like not to go deep into like the industry, and I don't, mind you, I'm not an expert at all, but like, I mean, we all hear the stories of like Japanese animators being overworked.
Oh, absolutely.
And so I think part of like the trade-off is that we do get shorter seasons, but also an upside of the shorter seasons is tighter writing and tighter control over the episodes. Because I mean, even with Naruto, because like honestly, I'm remembering this now. I actually made a choice back when like the new generation, Naruto, Bleach, One Piece were coming out. I chose Naruto. And I skipped Bleach.
You had to make a choice.
No, I did. Like, I remember making this choice. I remember, like, being home, being a teenager, being like, I'm choosing Naruto.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch Bleach. I'm not going to watch anything else. It's Naruto and whatever I've already watching.
Yeah.
And, like, even with Naruto, I think I watched the first 3 or 4 seasons of the original. Mm-hmm. And then I stopped watching. Because it became all filler. I just, like, lost interest. And then Shippuden launched. And I jumped. Oh, no. I missed, like, the first 2 seasons of Shippuden. But like the fact that it was like a time jump and that he was more powerful, more in like, because I didn't care about his like growing up part.
Yeah, he was like a child in art and like the original, and then like Shippuden is like full like
full on teenager
or whatever. Yeah.
But also like I jumped right back in because like it was more grown up. I think I was older at the time, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna catch up on this one.
And that grew up with you.
Yeah, and I grew up with it, and like Madara, Itachi, the Akatsuki, like all those arcs.
Yeah, Rock Lee with the like all the I love Rock Lee. He's one of my favorite characters in that show. Yeah. So yeah, it just gets to this like sentiment where it's an overwhelming wall of content, and that becomes at some point inaccessible to me with like what I can spend my time on. Yeah. And maybe that's privilege of, you know, having other things to do than watching anime.
That is not
or
privilege.
reading manga.
that is maturing.
Exactly. Yeah. But that's kind of where I'm at with it. And you know, I'm resolved in all of that.
I'm okay with it too. Yeah. I mean, I pick and choose animes I want to dive into. Like JJK already has all its seasons out at the moment. Yeah. And everyone was talking about it. I was like starving for anime, so I was like, let me try it out. Amazing.
And it's good. It's really good. I like that there's powers. I like that there's so much like demonology going on. Demonology,
but like there's like a deep lore to the show that is like refreshing to see. Yeah. And like that isn't to say like older animes don't have the deep lore. They all do. Yeah. But like I don't know, something about it is just really fun.
I like also know that like one of my favorite memories about cartoons is in the Teen Titans like universe and like
Teen
all
Titans?
of the Marvel stuff. Like we really could
Let's
have
get into Teen Titans. Let's get into Robin.
Oh my gosh. We could have a whole other episode on like the Cartoon Networkification of like cartoons because I do think that world is lives in this world, but like anime took us right and we could go left, but we are already at our hour.
We are?
Time flies when we're having fun.
We didn't even really talk about Avatar.
I know. Well, we got a lot into I think like the reasons why I think we both like it, which is just that like political, like deeper, like I guess just like that medium being used to tell a story of that level, I think really it really solidifies it for a lot of our generation.
If I ever get invited back, we can dive into my theory that Harry Potter and Avatar: The Last Airbender are the reason why millennials are so apathetic about politics and also tend to become leftists later in life and become less conservative. Because like I mean, like the theory that as you get older you become more conservative.
Yes, yes.
Millennials are bucking that trend.
Good.
And I think it is because of shows like or books like Harry Potter and then the subsequent movies.
Yeah.
And then shows like Avatar and some of those shows, because they like pit forth the anti-authoritarian government bent to them, and like the trappings of like what happens when like power corrupts in a kid show. And so growing up, we always were taught to like think like repel against like,
the rebels were always the heroes.
Corrupt power structures. And so like we need to get those shows back into the front of Gen Z, because what are they doing? Anyway, we're at our hour.
A lot of them are too conservative, you Gen Zers.
Surprisingly, considering they're all painted nails, they're all
literally. They understand what feminism is.
They understand what feminism is, and for some reason think that it's better to be a Joe Roganite or whatever you want to call it. So
not
a Trumpy.
Well, Kevin, my final question to you is, if you're thinking after this exercise of thinking about memories and kind of the context of cartoons, like if you were to think about memories just like more broadly, what do you think in your life like you want to have more memories of going forward?
Ooh. I think what I want to have more memories of is just good times with people around me. I mean, as I get older, I've come to understand that like community and friendship and like family is the most important thing in life. And, cartoons are great. I love them to death. I love anime. I love all that stuff, especially when they like dive into deep storytelling.
Yeah.
But like the memories that I cherish even more than that are like the memories I have with the people that have been in my life throughout all the stages of my life. So
absolutely. And in some cases you're able to share like those two together. Like I love going to that movie. Yeah. Even though you didn't like the Demon Slayer movie, you still got to go with friends and have that experience.
Exactly. And it was like one of the last memories I had of living in Tulsa before I moved to Denver too.
Yeah.
So.
And we're so glad to have you back.
Yeah, I'm back. Jamel might be coming back. You know what I mean?
So. This is also Jamel's second name drop on this podcast.
Oh, is it? Hi, Jamel.
Well, thank you so much, Kevin, for being here and
thank you for having me.
Getting a little vulnerable, getting a little, into the weeds of everything. I really appreciated it.
No, yeah, thank you for having me. This has been super fun.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for listening to this episode of I Can't Remember Shit.
Subscribe.